Hi guys, welcome back to another Hugh Jeffries video. In this video, I'm going to be completely overhauling this Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus with a cracked screen, back and camera lens. It also has a damaged camera module and dinted frame. This phone originates from the United States, meaning it's a Snapdragon variant of the S9. While Verizon branded, this phone is unlocked and can be used here in Australia. But before we get started, I'd like to thank iFixit for sponsoring this video. Get parts, tools and guides at ifixit.com/HughJeffries or at the link below. To restore this Galaxy S9, the tools I will use include a hot air station, an iFixit ProTech toolkit, a magnetic mat to keep all of the device's screws organized, and for the parts, a replacement display, frame, back, battery, camera, fingerprint reader, and adhesive. While quite an extensive list, I want the device to be cosmetically brand new looking and fully functional with the use of a new battery and camera. To begin, I'm going to start with my hot air station and heat the back panel of the Galaxy S9. This will hopefully soften up the adhesive and allow me to easily remove the back panel. However, that wasn't the case given the amount that this phone has been shattered. I did use a suction cup to try and lift up the back panel after heating it, however I was unsuccessful as it couldn't grip to the back good enough. Now applying some tape to the back of the phone will help a suction cup grip to the back better. However, I didn't have any spare tape around, so I just wedged a jimmy tool in between the frame and the glass. However, this can damage your frame, so if you are only replacing the back or just the display, then I wouldn't advise doing this. But because I'm changing my frame anyway, as it's quite dinted and beaten up, I wasn't too fussed. Once you have the pick in place, you can slide it along, making sure to reheat when necessary. You can also apply some alcohol to these picks to allow them to slide through the adhesive easier. This is the hardest process of the entire repair and took me around 20 minutes just to remove this back piece of glass. You'll need to be careful because there is a fingerprint reader cable connecting to the phone underneath, so you'll just need to disconnect that when removing the panel. After removing the back panel, I would recommend cleaning your workspace, as any remaining glass can scratch new components when we install them later on. Now, I'm going to start by using some alcohol to clean up the camera lens because I wanted to see if I could repair it rather than have to replace the whole module. But you can see, even after cleaning, there are these black blobs all over the camera picture. So I'm going to need to replace that module later on. But now it's time to disassemble this phone, so I'm going to start by removing all of the screws holding in the wireless charging coil and speaker assembly. Luckily, Samsung uses the same length screws for the wireless charging and speaker assembly. So while I would still organize the screws, if they do happen to become mixed up, it won't matter for this section of the phone. Progressing further inside the phone, I will start by disconnecting the battery to remove all power to the phone. Then I can remove the antenna cables, two front-facing cameras, and a flex cable for the LED indicator. There is one screw holding the board in place which needs to come out, then I can take out the SIM card tray, and finally disconnect the charge port to be able to remove the board entirely from the phone. Next, we can remove all of the smaller components inside the phone. I'm going to start with the earpiece speaker, and to remove that, you're probably going to need a spudger or something to lift that up. Then I can take out the little divider piece between the two cameras, and then I can take out this sensor cable which houses the LED indicator and I believe the ambient light sensor as well. That is taped down in place, but it doesn't matter too much if you damage that tape. Next, I can take out the vibrate motor, and that came out really easy actually compared to other Samsungs I have worked on. Furthermore, we can move down to the lower half of the phone and remove the charge port assembly. It's held in by a number of screws, and then you basically just need a spudger to carefully remove it from the phone. Now it's time to crack out the new replacement frame that I'm going to transfer all of these components into, as well as install my new iFixit screen on. This is a replacement OLED panel for the Galaxy S9 Plus, and as you can see, it doesn't have a frame, so we're going to need to attach that onto our new frame. Now, if you wanted to reuse your old frame, of course you can do that, you just need to remove the old display. But as mine was quite dinted, I opted for a new one, as I wanted to make this phone as perfect as could be. I'll need to install some new adhesive as well, which will help the dust and water resistance of the phone. It may not be as good as factory, but it will definitely help stick the screen down and keep dust and water out of the phone. You want to make sure you take your time with this and make sure it is aligned correctly, so when the screen is sitting down, you don't see any adhesive sticking out the sides. It's time to come back to the iFixit display and remove this protective film over the adhesive on the back of the display. This will also help adhere it to the phone, so as you can see, there is a significant amount of adhesive that goes onto this Galaxy S9. To stick the two halves together, I'll need to remove all of the protective film on the frame itself and stick the panel down into place, making sure it's aligned on all four sides. Now that the screen has been installed, it's time to reassemble the phone, starting with the small components such as the thermal transfer pad, LED indicator, earpiece, and the vibrate motor. For those wondering, I have found this phone quite easy to repair once you remove the back panel of the phone. Every component seems quite modular and very easy to install with very little screws other than the ones required to remove the charging coil and speaker assembly. Once I have the dock connector reinstalled, I'm going to open up my new packet for the replacement camera from iFixit, and we can get that installed on the motherboard of the phone. Now Samsung glues the camera to the board itself, so it can be a little bit daunting when removing this, so I just used the flex cable coming from the camera to lift it out of place. While this might damage the camera, this one's broken anyway, so I wasn't too worried about that. With the new camera pressed into place and connected, I can reinstall the motherboard into the phone. Once I have it correctly seated into position, I can press down on the charging port cable to connect it. I can then connect up the display, antennas, front cameras, any flex cables, and install the one screw. I'm going to hook up a battery and quickly reinstall the speaker and wireless charging coil to make sure every function of the phone is still working. Pressing and holding the power button, I successfully got a logo and everything was booting up as normal. I could then run some quick tests off camera to make sure everything in this phone is functioning, from charging to cameras to the sound and vibration. Now that I can confirm everything was working, I can flip the phone back over and give the speaker assembly a good clean with some alcohol, as well as the charging coil, to make sure to remove as much of that old adhesive as possible. I can then install the speaker assembly and its screws back into place. Thankfully, all the screws in this phone are Phillips drivers, so I only need to use one bit from my ProTech toolkit. I'm going to come back across to the old frame for a minute and just remove the old battery. Now the reason for this is there's actually a piece of rubber underneath which I'm going to need to take out and transfer across to my new frame. This just helps the battery seat into place correctly, so I want to make sure that is installed. I will be installing a new battery in this phone to make sure that this can last more than a full day on one single charge. So I'm going to transfer across this little black piece. While not necessary, it just makes the phone look original. I'll also transfer across my IMEI number on the battery as well. I can then remove the adhesive protective film and stick the new battery down into place. Installing the wireless charging coil again, I can install its many screws holding it into place. Did you know any Galaxy phones newer than the Galaxy S7 won't charge without their wireless charging coil installed, as it now has an extra sensor to monitor the battery temp after the Note 7 battery catastrophe. Now we can install the new fingerprint reader and remove the protective films over the two camera lenses. As it wasn't present, I will install some adhesive for the fingerprint reader on the back glass. I'll also need to remove all the protective film before we can install it on the back of the phone. Correctly lining it up, I can press it down into place, making sure it is seated down properly. To complete my repair, I'm going to install a tempered glass screen protector, which I ordered online. Upon pulling it out of the box, you can see this definitely isn't tempered glass and is in fact only plastic. So I feel a little bit scammed here, but regardless, it will protect the glass on the phone. However, it won't be very durable as it will scratch quite easily given its plastic material. This was quite difficult to install compared to a glass screen protector, but it was all I had for the phone, so it's going to have to do. However, in my experience, plastic screen protectors are much better for the Samsungs as they can curve all the way around the display. Of course, the downside to them is the fact that they can develop bubbles and are really easy to scratch. Finally, I can remove the plastic protective film from the back of the Galaxy S9 Plus, and we're done. So this is it, a fully restored purple Galaxy S9 Plus 64GB US model. For those wondering, after replacing the chipped fingerprint reader, the phone accepts the new sensor just fine, as it's not paired to the phone in any way like some other brand of phone we all know. In fact, there's no components paired to the phone to stop people from replacing or repairing parts. And with the use of only Phillips screws, this device is quite repair friendly, other than the strong adhesive on the back. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and consider checking out the phone restoration playlist for more videos just like this one. Also make sure to follow me on my social media, link for which is down in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.